The happy Gadfly and his spiritual Emetic. Socrates' daily life was devoted to a protracted evangelism campaign. Almost every day he would seek out people for a debate, like a persistent salesman determined to foist his correct moral and ethical standards onto the Athenians, especially the innocent youth. He was, in effect, the ancient world's progenitor of the random street interview. His classic opening line usually began with an incredibly simple, even idiotic, question. "My shoe is broken. What do you think I should do?" A wealthy person would roll their eyes. "Throw it away and buy a new pair. Are you simple?" A poor person would sigh, patch it up, and keep wearing it. Without exception, the respondents thought they had encountered a madman. Socrates would immediately raise the stakes. "But what if I have no money and can't afford a new pair?" "Then you'll just have to fix it. And who should I hire to fix it?" "Mate, are you feeling all right? A shoemaker, of course." The show was on. Socrates would then seriously analyze why the person thought of a shoemaker and not a chef, because subconsciously they knew that for every job you must find an expert. After a long, winding path, he would finally drop his ultimate philosophical bomb. If that's the case, when a nation has a problem, whom should we hire to be the country's shoemaker? That is, its ruler. The audience? Question mark? They started by thinking he was dumb. Now they feel dumb. Socrates' questions were essentially a full coverage scanner of the Athenian intellectual landscape. What is honesty? What is democracy? What are piety, virtue, courage, truth? And what the heck are the gods? He felt obligated to teach the youth how to be human, how to love, and how to pursue truth. He never offered kind advice to those he looked down upon. Instead, he used merciless sarcasm and maximum toxic tongue power. One of his former students, who later became a city leader, became so fed up that he issued a gag order. "Please, stop talking about your shoemakers and carpenters. They've been used up and worn out by you." Yet, in the eyes of the Athenian youth, Socrates was the ultimate guru. He was quite pleased with himself, having become a free spiritual preacher. He famously compared himself to a gadfly. The gadfly is a bothersome insect slightly larger than a housefly that feeds on blood or plant sap. Once it stings an animal, the pain and irritation give the animal no peace. Socrates wanted to be the spiritual gadfly of Athens, specifically to suck out and discard the imperfect morals and ignorance clinging to people's minds. He proudly declared, "Whether I am alive or dead, I am a happy gadfly, flying around." Socrates noticed that people tend to jump to conclusions and define concepts like justice or courage without thoroughly examining the underlying presuppositions. Once he drilled down, the hidden premises and true meaning would be exposed. His method of dialogue later became known as the Socratic method. In simple terms, an aggressive line of questioning until you doubt your own existence. Blessed with a powerful imagination and divergent thinking, he could endlessly posit different possibilities for a single question, leaving his conversation partners scrambling to defend themselves. This inspired his eager young students to worship him even more. However, for those who were already famous or held high office, the Socratic method made them lose face and filled them with seething anger. The resultant resentment led to a consequence Socrates himself likely never anticipated. He would ultimately pay for it with his life. The classic debate, the dilemma of justice. He once approached a merchant to discuss justice. Merchant, confidently, "Justice means when I grow old, not owing any money or any sacrificial debts to the gods." Socrates, "So you mean justice is not owing anything to others or promptly returning what you owe?" Merchant, "Yes, absolutely correct." Socrates, "What if I owe a friend a knife, but he has lost his mind and is running wildly down the street. If I return the knife to him now, would you say that is just? Merchant, sweating. Probably not, sir. Socrates, you see, in this case, returning what is owed is not necessarily just. Merchant, conceded and corrected himself. Well then, justice is to benefit your friends and harm your enemies. Socrates, if justice is that, what kind of skill is medicine? Merchant, medicine is the skill of giving health to the sick. Socrates, if your friend is sick and you offer him a benefit like a basket of pears, but the doctor cures his illness, is your just person more useful, or the doctor, the master of a skill? Merchant, the doctor is more useful, of course. Socrates, so then the person who masters a skill is more useful than the just person, isn't that right? Merchant, completely lost. I'm confused. What exactly is justice? Socrates, calmly, I don't know either. The only thing I know is that I know nothing. It is this ignorance that forces me to relentlessly continue arguing. Socrates never realized that his spiritual emetic technique would eventually evolve into one of the two foundational methods of philosophical inquiry, dialectics. He thus became the watershed moment in ancient Western philosophy. As he himself demonstrated, what matters is not that you remember history, but that history remembers you.